2 weeks and 1 day, that's all that's left until kickoff of the 2011 Alabama football season. And the Alabama Crimson Tide's been hard at work on the practice field, getting ready for what Bama fans hope will be another exceptional season. WVUA Sports Director Gary Harris has been keeping a close eye on the Tide, and he joins me now with more. And Gary, it's been a very busy and interesting week for Bama this week.
It has been interesting in a lot of different ways. You know, under this backdrop of all these things going on, Alabama, as you mentioned, trying to prepare for the season opener. But the week started with some news, big news out of the University of Miami. A Yahoo Sports report said that Miami had broken all kinds of rules. A convicted felon making the allegation, saying he paid players, provided prostitution, even paid for one player to have an abortion. Well, how does this tie in to the University of Alabama, you ask? Well, if you've been following the story, you know that two current UA staff members, Director of Football Operations Joe Panunzio and Offensive Line Coach Jeff Stoutland, were on the staff at Miami and were mentioned by name in this Yahoo Sports report. Now, Coach Nick Saban addressed the media yesterday, said he would talk about this one time and one time only. He said if an NCAA investigation reveals rules violations by either Stoutland or Panunzio, he was sure they would get the appropriate punishment. In the meantime, these are still just allegations. Jeff Stoutland remains the offensive line coach and will coach the offensive line. Panunzio continues on his day-to-day duties as the Director of Football Operations. Now, as for the team on the field, Coach Saban seems pleased with where Alabama is at this particular time. The Tide will hold its second scrimmage, Danny, tomorrow afternoon at Bryant-Denny Stadium. They scrimmaged last week as well. And again, Coach Saban says while there's always room for improvement, and you can see what he gets, what a player gets when he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, but he does seem really pleased with the football team. Also, big news earlier this week of a positive variety. Geno Smith, outstanding cornerback out of Atlanta St. Pius ex-high school, became Alabama's 17th verbal commitment, choosing the Crimson Tide over the arch rival Auburn Tigers. So a busy week. Off the field news, which is always the case, it seems like, at the University of Alabama, but on the field, things continue to look really good.
And you were talking about practice and the coach making decisions and things like that. Now, and I hate to even bring them up, but the big news, I guess, yesterday for Auburn fans would be they've decided on a starting quarterback. Are we any closer with our guys?
No. Barry Trotter, as you mentioned, the Auburn decides on a quarterback. It's going to be the redshirt junior out of Briarwood Christian. At Alabama, though, Danny, we're talking about an entirely different scenario. We're talking about a scenario where Nick Saban has already on the record said there probably will not be a starting quarterback announcement. May not even announce one before the first game. He plans on playing both quarterbacks against Kent State, probably going to play both quarterbacks against Penn State. At some point, do I think he'll name a #1 starting quarterback? Yes, and somebody obviously will have to take that first snap against Kent State. But I think he's going to let these two guys play it out all the way, and don't be shocked, as I said, if they play both of them a lot against Kent State and Penn State, and may play both some throughout the season. I think he likes both of them and thinks they both can make plays. It's like I said on Tider Insider TV, if having one good quarterback is, a talented quarterback is a good thing, then having two is better, right?
It should be wonderful.
So I think fans are concerned, but I think the coaches have a plan. And one thing we ought to know by now, in regards to Nick Saban, he knows what he's doing. He
does know what he's doing, and he's been in this situation before at LSU. It wasn't uncommon for him to have two quarterbacks.
He had to play two one season, and it worked out pretty well. And I think at some point during the year, he's going to settle on one quarterback. But again, you've got a situation where both quarterbacks are very talented. Both have a lot of eligibility in front of them. I don't think he's trying to cater to them, but at the same time, until one clearly separates from the other, he wants both those guys to believe that they're going to be the guy, Yeah,
he'll get their best effort that way, I suppose. All right, Gary, thank you very much. Always fascinating
Much
stuff.
more 5, 6, and 10.
There you are. You can catch Gary Harris and the rest of the WVUA sports team Saturday mornings at 8 on Crimson Tide Kickoff during college football season. The new season of Crimson Tide Kickoff starts September 3rd when Alabama takes on Kent State. You can only see that right here on WVUA TV.